Hey there, welcome, come on in, get your browser set up and your desktop adjusted because this is going to be English 126, Critical Thinking and the Shaping of Meaning Through Language. So let's talk a little bit about what this course is going to cover. Then I can introduce myself and you guys can all introduce yourselves and we can start to get to know each other. So first of all, the name of the course pretty much says it all. English, we'll be studying in the English discipline. Critical thinking, we're going to learn some sort of techniques and skills and strategies to how to practice and understand what critical thinking is. It's a really abstract, complicated term, and we will try and capture onto like 2 or 3 definitions that you guys really can take away from this class for what is critical thinking, how can I practice that skill in the rest of my college education. And then the second portion of our course is the shaping of meaning through language. So we're going to look a lot at the way language shapes and carries and communicates many layers of meaning. We will look at language as a text-based system, so letters that are written and spoken and read and heard. So really like verbal based, but we'll also look at some examples of language as a more broadly symbolic system. So, pictures, sounds, colors, things like that. Like you guys all might be familiar with emojis. That's a rising feature of English language, all language. So we'll look at just the various ways that language shapes meaning. The way that we will do that is going to be kind of through 3 projects in this class, essays, but they will be, a little bit more hands-on, a little bit more multimedia than just, writing several paragraphs. So the first one is going to be an analysis of advertisements. You will evaluate, so use some critical thinking skills to evaluate how those advertisements shape and carry and communicate their messages toward audiences. And ultimately, in your analysis, you will be asking, what is this advertisement really selling? So beyond just the product or the service, what values and ideals and sort of systems of thought and behavior are these advertisement messages really selling to us? If we accept these messages, what is it that we're really buying into? So that will be our first project. Our second project will be an analysis of the language habits of a speech community that you choose. So by speech community, I'm thinking about teenagers. They use slang a lot, teenagers and young people. In the profession that you're seeking to enter, there might be a lot of technical or professional jargon in that speech community. In politics, we have very formalized systems of speech, like oaths and like speeches that are given, orations and such. So a speech community really comes down to any group of people who use a specialized type of language, so a special style of language that is specific to that group. And so then you will just sort of document some of the habits of that group, the ways that they speak, and then unpack and analyze the layers of meaning and the encoded messages from those habits to sort of try and find out what values or concerns or ideals are suggested and implied and coded into the language habits in that community. And then you'll have a third project at the end of the term. This is going to be a more traditional, a research paper or a term paper where you can synthesize a lot of the different ideas that we encounter in Unit 1, 2, and 3, and sort of choose your favorite topic from the course to really see what the scholars have been saying, and then to think about your own opinion on that matter. So enter your own ideas into that wider conversation. So just so you have a basic idea of what it is you're going to be doing in the next throughout the next few weeks of this course, there's a little bit in a nutshell. So now me. My name is Jessica, Professor Hughes. I have been teaching at DVC since 2017. I teach English 126 a lot. It is a subject that I'm really interested in. I care a lot about language. I care a lot about the layers of meaning and like the different denotations and connotations and messages that can be spread by the simple use of a word, the simple display of an image. I find it to be super fascinating, and I'm especially interested in just the marvelous and unique humanness of language. And I really like to think about the way other systems, so other nonverbal systems, can be thought of as language, is as an analogy with language. So basically, I'm a language nerd, surprise, surprise. But hey, you're in good hands to take a class that is all about language. So outside of my academic and work side of my life, I really enjoy spending time with my family. I have one husband, 2 kids, a dog, a cat, a lizard, and I had a bunny, but he recently passed away. So we like to go out for hikes. We like to go to the beach. We like to go out on the like mountain ranges. We like to get out into the desert. We're a bunch of people who really like the outdoors. But I also like the indoors too. Of course, reading is one of my biggest hobbies. I'm always studying, always learning. There's so much, to learn in so little time. So that's a little bit about me. In the rest of this discussion, I would really love to see a little bit about you guys, since we're going to be spending this whole class together, learning from one another, exchanging ideas with each other. So I would really love to see a short video introduction if that's possible. Don't feel shy. We're all just people. So maybe you can try and shoot yourself like a 2 to 5 minute video. Or if that's a bit out of your comfort zone, you can share just a text response. But I would really, really appreciate to see some kind of image. If you don't want to show, yourself, you can just show a couple of images of the things that you like. So please take about 30 to 45 minutes, not too much time, to think about how you'd like to introduce yourself to your classmates and to me. The most important things to include in your introduction are your name, your academic and professional interests or goals, and then just a quick little, just a comment or two about what you like to do outside of your school life. So I really look forward to getting to know all of you. I can't wait to see your replies and your introductions. See you next time.